hombre, se lo gastan todos ustedes. Para empezar necesitamos flexionar lo que es el tobillo.
People that live in the United States and are legal to work, they are not going to do farm work.
Without the H-2A program, we couldn't function. This farm would not exist. A majority of farms across the United States would not exist.
Estás dispuesto a soportar todo con tal de ganar un salario mejor, ¿no? Es mano de obra desechable, ¿no? Porque te llevo hoy, mañana quién sabe, ¿no?
Our workers are our number one assets. It's our duty to keep them as safe as possible, and that's our number one priority.
Ojalá que valga la pena todo lo que uno está haciendo para salir adelante.
Adelantas como el proceso de desarrollo, ¿no? Entonces hace aproximadamente entre 7 u 8 años empezó a llegar este fenómeno aquí. Fue las primeras veces que escuchamos lo que es hablar de la visa H-2A, trabajadores que iban a ir contratados de manera temporal a Estados Unidos. Entonces a partir de ahí se empezaron a llevar grupos pequeños de 30 y de 40 trabajadores y cada año fue creciendo esto. Una hora de trabajo nos pagan alrededor de 23 a 24 pesos aquí. Si te vas a Estados Unidos, la diferencia es abismal, porque te pueden llegar a pagar hasta 11, 12 o 13 dólares en una hora de trabajo.
H-2A is the only legal mechanism we have to bring legal workers from Mexico or anywhere in the world for that matter. Right now, approximately 30% of the workforce in the United States that harvests the fresh fruits and vegetables that Americans get to enjoy every day are harvested by H-2A workers.
We've had traditionally a labor shortage in agriculture because as a society we have chosen not to invest in agriculture to improve working conditions, to make pay competitive with any other industry. We have turned to immigration as a solution.
Before I can bring a worker legally on an H-2A visa to the United States, it takes me 90 days. We have to deal with many United States government agencies, and it's a very long process. We identify the need of what our customers need, and we figure out how many we need. And that's where the recruiting down here in Mexico is so important, is that we have our own recruiting teams, including we recruit from our own farms the workers that we bring to the United States.
Lo que dure el contrato nomás, lo que dure el contrato y para atrás, para poder sacar a la familia adelante, darle una mejor vida.
Nos pedían pues pasaporte, todo la credencial, los papeles de acta de nacimiento y fueron varias cosas. Nos dijeron en qué hemos trabajado, qué experiencia tenemos en el campo para poder ir para allá, que es trabajo duro.
People in the United States are going to probably invent a coronavirus vaccine. They're going to make respirators, but they're not going to come out and pick lettuce and work out here in the dirt, and the dust and the rain and the heat and the cold like farm workers do every day.
To raise visas to work, we literally have to offer those jobs to Americans first. We advertise, we publish them in newspapers, and we literally have very minimal response. And anyone who shows up, we automatically have to hire them, and we have to work them. And we're happy to. But I mean, for everyone that shows up, we'll advertise 15 jobs, and we'll have 3 or 4 people show up, and then within a week they'll quit. And then we have nothing. And then we apply for H-2A visas, and that's when everyone comes from overseas to work for us. And that's literally the lifeblood of this farm and multiple farms across the United States, because literally without this program, Americans don't eat.
somos pocos, solamente tenemos 11 trabajadores H2A. Vamos creciendo poco a poco, vamos a caminar primero. Me decían, vas a gatear, vas a caminar, después vas a correr.
Todos son familiares y también todos vienen con visa de trabajo. Alguno pueda pues, hacer lo mismo que nosotros, porque nosotros tenemos así las mismas oportunidades que me dieron a mí, se las estamos dando también a ellos ahora.
La mayoría pues somos hermanos, primos, cuñados, pero eso no importa pues porque uno viene a trabajar. Aquí no existe el parentesco, sino que tú estás haciendo tu trabajo. Eso es lo que importa, ¿verdad? No porque sea mi primo hermano, pues yo no voy a hacer esto, no voy a hacer otro, ¿verdad? Uno viene a trabajar y eso es lo que hace uno.
Alguien presenta dolor de cabeza, malestar en la garganta, ¿todos están en perfectas condiciones? Ok, bueno, sobre todo, ya saben, si presentan algún síntoma necesitan hacerlo saber.
Currently, we have 47 H2A workers here at Tally Farms, and eventually we'll get up to around 80 H2A workers in the peak of our season. During the COVID-19, we have been established as farmers. We are essential, so therefore our workers need to go to work on a daily basis. We're not allowing any visitors to come and visit the H2A workers, nor do we allow the H2A workers to leave our facility to go and visit friends and family members. It seems very restrictive, but it's in their own good to really keep them safe. In my mind, growing our own food in our own soils here in America is a national security issue. The importance of not relying on other countries for our food source is tremendous, and it's important that we're able to grow here in our own country so that we can provide food and nutrients for our own people.
No, pues yo estoy agradecido con estar trabajando, pero también tenemos que seguir todas las reglas para que también esto funcione.
Se siente bien, ¿no? Porque pues podemos contribuir a que siga habiendo alimento en California. Es algo bueno, algo grato.
So imagine if you could go to Canada and earn 8 times more what you're earning right now in the United States. I would posit you would do pretty much anything you could to get up there regardless to do right by your family. So what happens in these sending communities and rural communities across Mexico, around the world, these recruiters come in knowing that what they are offering is gold, and they don't give them up for free.
The issue of recruiting is really something that's very near to my heart. We want to recruit fairly, honestly, and legally. And there is a lot of fraud that goes on in the recruiting when you don't do it in-house yourself like we do. There's a lot of opportunity for fraud, and what they do, some of them, not all of them, there's some good recruiters out there, but there's also a lot that take advantage of the farm worker. To me, there's a special place in hell for that person that would do that to somebody who's basically the poorest of the poor in Mexico.
La ilusión de todo mexicano es de decir, el dólar vale un poquito más trabajar en los Estados Unidos y traerlos acá, pues bueno, resulta, es un poquito más. Entonces siempre ha sido la ilusión de todo mexicano de cruzar a los Estados Unidos por el precio del dólar que ha tenido en México. A través de la visa H2A se van los compañeros, entonces ya no tienen que cruzar por el cerro, pero van con la misma ilusión de que el dólar vale más si lo traen para acá a este lado, ¿no? De eso no ha cambiado nada. La única diferencia es de que ahora hay centros de reclutamiento para los compañeros que quieran ir a trabajar en los Estados Unidos en los diferentes campos agrícolas, porque no van a trabajar en una oficina o en un hotel o en un restaurante, van a trabajar en los campos agrícolas de Estados Unidos.
They go up into that gondola, we call it, and then when they get to the packing house, they're washed out with water. With the non-movement, we've left a lot of acreage in the field that we couldn't pick. These guys have had a lot of days off that they shouldn't have had, and it's been tough. We've been trying to find stuff for them to do between myself and the contractor, but with no money coming in, it's tough to keep them as busy as we would like to. We're keeping them going the best we can, and they're going to end up making some money here at the end. But hopefully we're going to end up here on a good note and keep them busy from here till the 1st of June when they all go back to Mexico. I think farmers and farm workers have been taken for granted for years and years because Americans will not, no matter what anybody says, Americans will not pick pickles in this heat, bent over all day long. It's a tough job, and these guys do a great job. We've heard people say during our maize and stuff, well, what do we need farms for? Publix has got plenty of food in their grocery store. They can't make the connection. So with any luck, this will leave a mark on people in their minds, and they'll realize and understand how important farmers are, farm workers are, and what it takes and what's involved in producing a crop that feeds them day in and day out.